Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to today's stream. Today we are back in FRL for round 4 of the FRL Division 2 Championship, where we are going to be racing at the Rio Street Circuit. I already did an intro because I thought I was live, but apparently I wasn't. Well, now I am, so I'm going to be redoing the intro in brief. But this is going to be a very interesting round as we have had a 1 week break last week, so no racing last week, only a few fun events. So our drivers have more time to practice for this one, and that extra practice is certainly going to come in handy as this is arguably the toughest track on the calendar. And not only that, it's going to be a long race as well, as we've got 25 laps, but the lap times are among the longest on the game. So that means the races will be quite long compared to others, compared to say Lukov or Gisborne, because the track has a lower average speed with all these corners, all these twists and turns. So it's a little bit like Singapore, where the track is relatively long, but because the average speed is pretty low, the race drags on for quite a while. There's going to be quite a bit of laps, but anyway, we have got I believe that's 12 drivers present right now. I'm going to run through which drivers are present, which drivers are not here right now. So we've got It's Code Bacon's making his debut today, reserving in the Bottom Text Racing team. Both main drivers AG Capadonna and Chirp not present at this time. Pretty sure Chirpy couldn't come this weekend, not sure about AG Capadonna. Then we move on to the RXFR Racing team, who has one reserve driver, one debutant present as well, which is Jabil or Jabil. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Please feel free to correct me after the stream, Jabil. I'm going to say Jabil. But he is going to be making his debut today, replacing the Ferrari Masterplan, who unfortunately could not be here today. And then we've got RX Gamer LP in the other RXFR Racing Team seat, who is a regular driver in this season. Then moving on to the team that is not missing because the colors are different from the spreadsheet and in-game. So we've got Sukiblet and All That Emoji, both drivers present here as well. Then moving on to the Red Wings team, we've got ROBLOX Gaming and Antonak, who are also both present right now. Then moving on, we've got the Scuderia Carstar team, whose drivers are also here, two main drivers. They have a reserve driver, but he's going to wait for another time to make his debut. Then moving on, we have got Rem Kanuva and Khalil the Palestinian driving for the Tempest Racing team. And then last but not least, we've got Skyrings and 29 is Wolf Sear, also previously known as Itzdenier. So we're missing, I believe, just one, we're missing two drivers. I'm not sure, apparently we're missing Skyrings as well. Okay, there we go. So we're missing Skyrings, one of the Joestar cars, and one of the Bottom Text Racing cars at the moment. Decent attendance for today, 12 out of 14 drivers, certainly not bad. Andy, I cannot hear you. I'm not sure if you're even in the voice chat. Alright. Sandy is in the voice chat, but can't hear him. It's showing a green outline, so it's doing something, but I don't hear anything, which is a bit odd. Anyway, going to qualifying, we've got All That Emoji on provisional pole. Race winner last time out, I believe, yes. Made his debut last time in this division and got full points and is up into third place due to his one win. Due to how skewed the point system is this system, you really get rewarded if you get a podium finish compared to if you get like a P5 finish. example, P5 only gets you 6 points, I believe. Compare that to winning a race, which immediately gets you 17 points if you also get pole position as well. So we've got Mochi dominating this championship right now, this field right now, with a 7/10 advantage to ROBLOX in second place, who is our is currently second in the standings, but being in first. But Sever is still in first, who of course is no longer going to be racing in the series. So he is virtually our championship leader, ROBLOX. Who is currently in second place. Let's see if he is going to start a new flying lap. A little bit of lag going on. There's a bit of traffic ahead of him, but there's no dirty air and slipstream during qualifying in this league. So they can only visually get in the way, not physically. So we're now looking on board with ROBLOX as he does his lap. Takes the left-hander nicely. Turns 4 and 5 really clean, getting very close to the one exit as you should. Now to the back start corner for turn 6, starting sector 2. Very close, nicely hit the apex. Then it is just about flat out, maybe a small lift through the right-hander. And then it is preparing for itself for a double right-hander as we get deep into sector 2. Getting very close to the wall, using all the space and exposure, curved around a little bit wide, coming out of the left-hander, now going through the hairpin, very nicely uses pretty much all the space that he has, doing a very good job on this lap, looking very solid. Could definitely see this being an improvement. In third place right now we've got Sukeblets with a 1.255. As Antonak has just rejoined the track, he's going to have one more run, I presume. You're going to only get one proper flying lap per stint, as your tires really start to go off afterwards. So going to be one flying lap, then back into the pits, then back out and do another flying lap after an out lap. So as we are watching Astro really caught up to the pack ahead. I hope it's not going to hinder him too much. I think he may have gotten a little bit of lag there, and he does improve, but only just by 0.03 of a second. Is he going to carry on for another lap, or is he going to pit? I would pit if I were Astro, but looks like he's going to carry on for another lap here. Tire wear's on, right? Yes, it is. Tire wear is well on, as you can see on the right side. You know what? Let's have a look on board with the 4th place man, Remokanova, I should say. I've always said Remokanova. I think it's Remokanova actually. So he is in 4th place right now, being chased down by two very angry Zephyr Motorsport cars. I don't think they're called Zephyr. No, Scuderia Casa, my bad. Let me make sure that is reflected on the spreadsheet as well before I make any more naming mistakes. So Remokanova is on a pretty good lap so far, driving the Tempest car, driving for the Tempest Racing team, named after the Tempest Motorsports HR car. Doing a good job on this lap so far. It doesn't look as much on the edge as some of the top guys would on the Division 1 guys, but it's certainly a very good lap indeed, as Jabil moves up to 6th place. A nice solid improvement for him, and faring quite well in this division on his debut. Actually his FRL debut in general, if we dismiss the fun events we've previously had. Remokanova doesn't improve, stays in 4th place as there is a position swap towards the back. Everyone has set the lap time so far. The field is relatively close, there's no large gap between two drivers, arguably between Wolf and Jordan towards the back, but all in all pretty close. And of course, looking at the front, the top 3 being separated by over a second, which is a large margin, but especially the midfield looking really tight. So if you're in the midfield, you can really gain like 3 or 4 positions if you manage to nail one lap compared to your rivals. So yeah, every corner counts essentially in this qualifying session, which is great to see. Who misses the apex? Remokanova approaching the hairpin. This is going to be his final flying lap as the clock is now ticking down towards 0, which means Time is up. Everyone can now finish the flying laps. Let's see if there are any position changes coming up. Khalil and Kara Khalil. Ooh, that's Remkanuva finished. He probably messed up his lap. Let's stay on board with Jordan. He's currently in last place in 12. But let's see if he's going to make an improvement. If he's able to go up the order. And let's see what's Jordan going to do. A lot of guys in midfield. Jordan goes third place. What a jump from 12th place to third place. Very impressive job by Jordan. I did not expect that much of a jump from him, but a very good job. Now looking aboard with Mochi, is he going to be able to keep his pole position? I think he will, as his other threat right now, Sukibalet, is about to cross the line. Is he going to improve? No, he isn't. Now, so it's only Mochi left to cross the line. Is he going to improve his lap time and get an even larger gap than 6 tenths, almost 7 tenths? So very good job by Mochi. He is on pole position by a quite comfortable margin and is looking really strong coming into the race. And Mochi improved 9. Whoa, that's an even larger gap. So Mochi improves his, increases his gap to second place to 9 tenths. Very impressive stuff. So yeah, he's going to have a massive advantage going into the race if he can carry over his quali pace to the race. Andy briefly lined up there. Andy, you're not supposed to be racing. Actually, yeah, I can hear you, I think. Someone's got a glitch. Apparently, that is... Whoa, I saw
whoa.
Yeah, we're going to restart.
I've never seen that before.
No, me neither. This car just went down and then back up again, so we will be restarting. I forgot to take a screenshot of qualifying, actually. Let me go to the stream quickly. That's a good thing I am streaming, so I can actually check out the times, because I actually forgot to take a screenshot. To take a screenshot of qualifying, actually, let me go to the stream quickly. Okay. So Mochi, there we go. Can take a screenshot now. Not going to be the best resolution, but we can read everything, so that's going to be fine. There we go. Okay, so we are going to be resetting. So we're going to revert to our emergency start strategy. Everyone's on the grid now, I think. No one's missing, so... I hope everyone will get a memo to not shoot off into the distance. Don't think anyone has, no. So everyone's going to try to line up to their correct pit slots. I think everyone should be able to do that, no problem. Looks like there's one empty spot in Flying is behind Ankara, that's correct. Okay, that's 9th. Okay, so everyone should be good. Okay, let's look towards back. I don't think anyone restarted, so it's lights out and away we go for this race. Someone got a glitch, that's why we had to do a start this way. This is our go-to emergency start procedure in case someone gets a glitch, because it would be a little bit unfair to have your race over before it's even begun due to an unfortunate glitch.
Suka with a great start. He's up to P2 already, and Jordan, he was on first for a moment, but he seemed to have been overtaken by the other two. Meanwhile, Mochi with a really bad start. He's on P5. Don't know what happened there. He reacted really slow at the start.
Okay, interesting. So that's another little bit interesting thing with these manual starts. You're going to have to react to the lights this way, or to my signal, basically. So yeah, it's a little bit different than normal, but it does happen sometimes if someone glitches. Which can happen in the regular game as well, of course. So in case anyone's listening, anyone gets a few glitches every now and then, the best thing you can do, if you can of course, is jump out of the car as soon as you can and then rejoin the race, and then you should be good to go. Anyway, it is ROBLOX in the lead with Mochi having dropped quite a few places to 4th place, having a pretty poor start right now. Making another small mistake by doing a corner cut. So he's going to have to climb back up the order, because he certainly had the pace in qualifying, but very interesting to see if he's going to carry over that.
He just overtakes Jordan right at the end of the first lap, and Jordan gets a corner cut right there.
He's going pretty slowly right now. He cut the final chicane. I'm going to keep an eye on him, because I thought for a second he also had a bit of lag, but I guess he just couldn't cut the final corner, which cost him a position to Mochi, and now Jordan finds himself under a little bit of pressure from the pack behind, but he's pulling away again. Jordan showing good pace as Remo Canava further down the order makes a mistake, dropping 2 places. I'm going to make that mistake a couple of times, I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, Khalil, he is the first retirement of the race.
What happened to Khalil? Okay, so he was the one who got a glitch at the first start, but looks like unfortunately he retired. He got off the line, I'm pretty confident about that, but retiring very early. Maybe a connection loss. I'm not sure if he has, can't remember if he has had connection issues in the past. Looking at his records, he hasn't raced the last 2 times, I believe. So not sure what happened there.
Meanwhile, Jabil is doing an amazing race. He's up to P5 currently, right before Antona.
Mochi is a little bit joking during this race right now. Astro with a breakaway, the virtual championship leader. We're not going. Let's just call him the championship leader.
Oh, and we have a problem with RX. He's stuck in the wall.
Oh, how did he manage that?
Oh lord!
We can get going soon, but that's going to be his race ruined for sure, because he's not. Even if he gets out, he's going to be really far at the back.
It doesn't seem he can get out.
That's unfortunately going to be a DNF. I feel like that's going to ruin his chances at getting a pole position. Not sure how he managed that, to get stuck in the wall. Must have clipped it and then get an unfortunate bounce off the wall by the game. Not sure what happened there, but that's really unfortunate. Alex Gamer, who got 2nd place last time, mind you. So that's really unfortunate that he is now in the wall and looking like he is going to be out of this race. Right, looking ahead, we've got ROBLOX with a almost 3-second advantage to Mochi in second place, who has gone past his teammate now. Suka dropping down the order now, already having pretty large gap to his teammate in front. Meanwhile, we've got Jordan in 4th place. With Jabil in 5th place. He was battling with Antonak. I saw them swap positions a little moment ago. So, very interested to see how this is going to develop. Meanwhile, do we have any other battles further back? Yes, there is another battle. It's Remo Canava against Wolf Seer, fighting for 7th place right now. Wolf having a small edge right now, it seems. No, never mind. Remo Canava has the edge now. Coming into turn 1, they both take the corner equally well. They're pretty much even at this point. Remo Canava slightly ahead. Neck and neck right now, as there's also a battle going on behind for 9th place between Flying Fun and It's Code Bacons, as Remo Canava, I believe, slightly tapped the wall there. Wolf taking the call, very nice mistake from Remo Canava, that's going to cost him a bit of time. Rolf also running wide, so it's not over for that battle yet, but for now, Wolf seems to have the advantage, and he can set his eyes to the car ahead. Again, running very wide, so does Remo Canava. Meanwhile, we've got Flying Fun and Bacons battling it out. It's good. Bacons battling out for 9th place for the Wooden Spoon right now, as unfortunately 9th and 10th don't award any points, but a position that does award the point is P8, who is just up the road. So both of these guys still very much in contention to grab some points after this race. Meanwhile, we've still got the battle going on for P4 between Jordan, who's leading a train of 3 cars, with Jabil following him behind, with Antonak in 6th place. Antonak trying to put some pressure on the cars ahead of him. It's not going to be an easy task.
Mochi currently closing the gap to ROBLOX. It's a 1.6 second gap. It's closing down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think he has at least a half-second advantage over Astro right now, Mochi. So right now it's looking inevitable that Mochi is going to retake that lead after losing a couple of places at the start from pole position. But maybe Astro can put up a fight, or maybe Mochi is going to call up in the dirty air. You never know, but at the moment Mochi is looking strong, as I believe he just made a mistake there saying that. But yeah, this race is definitely far from one. You can have the 1-lap pace, but of course you need that consistency as well, at least compared to your rivals. If you are half a second quick in qualifying, that's very cool, but can you carry that pace over into the race without corner going too much? That is another question.
Jordan now getting some breathing space, as Antonak and Jabil are fighting for P5 currently.
It's still very close between all 3 cars. Jordan getting a small break away, not too much, as Jabil and Anton are still going to be well in his slipstream. They're both going to enjoy quite a bit of slipstream from Jordan down this back straight towards the final corner. We're not going to count the chicane here because it's a flat out. Well, yeah, we're not going to count it as it's flat out. If you really mess up the alignment through there, then I guess you can get a slowdown, but most of the time you won't, as Anton lost a bit of time to Jabil, who's now applying a lot of pressure on Jordan.
Meanwhile, Cold Bacons here has made up his way to P8, actually, has overtaken Remo Canava. And might be looking to be in contention for P7, as he's catching up to Wolf's here.
Okay, so Bacon's making a recovery in this race so far. It could Bacon's. And now he's now clear of Flying Fun, who is in 10th place, and now having overtaken Remo Canava as well. Looks like he's now going to try to set his eyes on 29 is Wolfseer just ahead. Meanwhile, we've got Jordan and Jabil still fighting it out for 4th place, as Jabil now has gone ahead of Jordan. looking very pacey in the early race. Now, of course, they're going to start feeding the tires at this rate, which is also going to be an interesting skill set and very useful to have alongside your one lap pace and consistency. It is also a skill set to deal with worn tires, to be able to cope with that understeer, because you could be quick on fresh tires, but that doesn't mean you're going to be quick on worn tires. The balance could be shifted to another driver if that driver can cope better with worn tires.
Mochi now has closed the gap to less than a second, actually. 7/10 against ROBLOX.
Yes, he's now right behind Astro for leads race. Mochi, that's a corner cut, got caught up in the dirty air there. He was actually within within 7/10 a lap ago, I'm pretty sure, and then made a mistake. The gap went back up to 1.3, but now he is going to have to do some work again in order to get past Astro. Looks like Mochi really struggling with the dirty air once he gets close to Astro.
Jordan has overtaken Jabil, actually, and Antonov has lost track of them. He's around 3 seconds behind Jabil, so
Looks like he's going to fall under pressure from Wolf behind from the back. That's for P7. So it looks like Joel has got the advantage again over Jabil, having 9/10 margin over the cross car, the RX Racing team. But let's talk about Jabil for a second. He is new to this league. This is his first ever FRL race, I'm pretty sure, as he's only done a handful of young driver tests and open events earlier. And he has won both driver tests, I believe. No, that's only one driver test because he didn't compete in the other we've previously had. So last week we had a driver test at New Jersey, which Jabil won out of just 8 drivers. And then afterwards we had a fun event where there were basically 2 classes. There was a pro class and an amateur class, and Jabil managed to win the amateur class, which adds up pretty well, because if you can win amateur class, I say for that particular event, it of course depends on who signed up, but it is Division 2 quality. You're pretty much Division 2 quality if you can win the amateur class, let's say that, as I believe the first cars have come into the pits. That's Mochi in the pits, looking to undercut Astro, and Remco Nava, who's also come into the pits, as well is Flying Fun Gaming. Now,
well, Jordan has managed to get a 1 second gap to Jabil. Up to P3 as Mochi made stop.
Looks like Flying may have had a really bad pit stop, as he is complaining in the chat. And he has lost a lot of ground to Remco Nava up ahead, so not sure what...
No, he hit a wall,
He hit a wall.
unfortunately.
Oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
And that completely slowed him down.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Well, yeah, Jordan hanging on to 3rd place for now, which is virtually 4th place, as Mochi has gone pits pretty early. Let me actually think here. He pit after just 7 laps. That's early. Because,
that's really early.
Yeah, if you go for a 2-stop, you should pit around after lap 8, I would say, after 8-9 laps. But yeah, pitting after 7 laps, an early stop from Mochi. Let me think for a second.
Astro has dived into the pits. Same goes for Sukablat.
They're both responding to Mochi, I assume.
Jordan goes into the pits. Jabil continues. Antonov continues. Wolf continues as well. Code Bacons continues as well.
Mochi is past Astro.
Oh, and he managed to get him. And he overtakes Antonov as well.
So Mochi now has taken the lead of this race, the virtual lead in fact, as he's now battling with the teammate of his main rival, Astro. Antonov is yet to come into the pits, showing by that understeer, but Mochi only pitted 1 lap early. He was about 1.5 seconds behind, and now he is about half a second ahead of Astro, so the undercut proving to be very effective.
It may have worked, but Astro has a lap. Mochi has a lap older tires, so again, it's only the second stint for them. So
Yeah,
there
they're
is
going to.
one more pit stop for them left.
I'm thinking about the possibility of doing a 3-stop around here. I think it's 1 stop too many. My feeling says I haven't done any laps, so I don't exactly know. It's a pretty unknown at
Uh,
this point. But if you want to do a 3-stop, you have to pit. You have 6 lap stints and then 1 7-lap stints. I'm pretty sure.
the
Yeah,
tires don't wear that much, so I mean, people could do it, but from what I've tested, it's two stops better. The tires don't have much wear. They're like at only for one lap they reach for four tire wear. I think, yeah. As Jabil goes into the pits right now after
yeah.
being for 9 laps on those tires.
Yeah, so he has done a pretty long first stint, which is going to allow him to. He has basically bitten the bullet right now, and he should be able to have fresher tires for the rest of
Antonak
the race.
Antonak and Sear pit as well. Cold Bacons comes into the pits as well.
Yeah, some other cars pitting as well, also going for a long first stint. I think Code had to reverse a little bit there to make his pit box, to make it into his pit
Remco
box.
Nava has overtaken Code right there. So all that work from Code now it has to he has to redo it again.
Yes, but he is on 2 laps fresher tires compared to Remco Nava, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage for the rest of the race, I reckon.
Mochi only with a 7/10 lead currently.
Yes,
It
he
goes
is.
kind of wide there.
Yeah, a little bit under pressure from Astro. Mochi has made quite a few mistakes this race. He has the pace, he has the 1 lap pace, but he needs to do those laps every time, and you can't go 1 lap really quick and then make a mistake the next one. That's not going to go over very well. But for now, he is in first place. He can. I think he'll be able to manage keep Astro behind for the time being, even with 1 lap older tires. But yeah, we'll see where this is going to go. Is Mochi now going to be able to pull away with his superior pace, or is Astro going to be able to keep the pressure on and maybe force Mochi into a handful of mistakes? As I believe Astro just made one. He cut the turn 2, I believe. It's going to cost him a few tenths. It cost him about half a second. So that has set him back a little bit. Looking a bit further down the order, we've got Sukablet comfortably in third place right now. He is in no man's land. He is 7.5 seconds behind Astro, but he is also 5 seconds ahead of Jordan behind. So Sukablet doing his own thing right now and looking very good, looking very strong to make it a 1-2 for the Bottom Tex Racing team. No, Hartman Colt, I'm sorry. Hartman Colt Racing, always get confused by the pink on the spreadsheet.
Meanwhile, Remco Nava under pressure from Cold Bacons. They're both fighting for the last points pay position.
Yes, it's good. Bacons has indeed called up to Remco Nava for 8th place, and on fresher tyres, I can imagine that it's only going to be a matter of time before Code gets past and claims that 8th place. So he has a little bit of vertical cornering, could maybe see it through there, but there's a bit of lag, so can't really tell that much. He is able to get more rotation through the hairpin compared to Remco Nava, and now he is going to be ahead of the finished driver. Not too sure, Remco Nava running a bit wide, but carrying a lot of speed through there.
Oh, and Astra has actually cut the second turn yet again.
Oh, more mistakes from the man in second place. That's really not going to do his chances at winning this race well at all. Meanwhile, Remco Nava still trying to hang on for that 8th place. It looks like Bacons is now a little bit ahead on his screen. Remco Nava is probably also going to be ahead on his screen. So they're pretty much inseparable at this point until one of them makes a mistake. And the one to make a mistake looks like it's Bacons as he cut the turn 2 ever so slightly, but unfortunately that means a small slowdown. Didn't lose a lot of time though, only a couple of tenths, so he's still in the fight, but that has indeed set him back a little bit.
So currently no battles in this race so far, except for the battle in P8, which is still going on. Although Astro slightly catching up to Mochi.
Meanwhile, I'm going to well, nothing too much is happening as Roman does. Roman Canova actually got a small breakaway now from Bacon's. The pink car having made another mistake. The actual bottom text racing car having made another mistake. So unfortunately, he has dropped back quite a bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to look at the YouTube chat, see if anyone's got any questions or anything to say about the race, because if you have, feel free to chat down below and I'll be able to give you an answer. Could also be about the game in general, although I'm not going to answer every single question on that. So if anyone's got a question, feel free to ask or in the YouTube chat right now. I'm Canova really breaking away from its Kurt Bacon's now. He was really dropped off in the last lap, which is very unfortunate for him. And so maybe on the pressure from Flying Fun Gaming, who I reckon is catching up now. I'm wondering, is Kurt Bacon's having a lag issue? Does he have any lag issues? Don't think he has. Doesn't look like it's, judging by his onboard. You can see him stutter every now and then. That's probably down to connection. ROBLOX struggling to keep track of his position, the server. But what we're really after is any significant slowdown on the straight randomly. Not due to the corner cut, but in general. As what happened at front, we've now got Mochi, who's now under pressure from Astro. That must have been a pretty significant mistake from Mochi, as he's now going defensive to break the toe from Astro, which is not going to do much because Astro is, I'm pretty sure, already ahead on his screen. Astro taking the first two corners a little bit better. Mochi once again going defensive. Don't think there's too much point in that, as Astro's too close to get slipstream. So I see now an interesting question about the two guys who are watching battling right now coming up in chat. Jar Jar asks, do you think Astro is going to hold his first place on the championship? It's going to be very interesting, as you can see. He certainly seems to have a big challenge with Mochi behind. Mochi is right now, as of round 3, 9 points behind, 8 points. Wait, no, 9 points, I'm sorry. But if Astro keeps, or if Mochi keeps outperforming Astro, then Mochi is probably going to take the lead of the championship after 2 more rounds if he keeps outperforming Astro. But that's much easier said than done. Mochi gets a corner cut warning. As you can see, Mochi has the pace. If he avoids making mistakes, then I don't see a reason why Mochi can't take over the lead of the championship eventually, but Astro seems to have more consistency, so I don't know, this could be very interesting as the season progresses.
And Remkanava has been overtaken by Cold Bacons, actually. I think I saw him make a small mistake, and we actually have another retirement. Flying Fun Gaming has retired from this race.
He unfortunately has. I don't want to say it, but he has unfortunately, I would say, rage quit, being this, not having a good race, probably not happy with his driving, and yeah, I can understand that. Being in last place, frustrated by your own mistakes. I have also had that in my own league races before, so I get the feeling.
Jabil now catching up to Jordan. The gap's only 2 seconds, so it's been closing down pretty quickly in this second stint. It was like a 4 or 5 second gap, I think.
Meanwhile, looking in the chat again, Sever is asking, what are your predictions for the top 5 in Division 2? Good question. We have had 3 rounds of racing. Looking at the standings, there are quite a few people up the order who have missed a race. But also quite a few people who have left the division. We've got Sever in first in the championship. But you're obviously not racing there anymore, so we can ignore you. But maybe if a few people turn up, you can hang on to a decent position in the championship. Who knows? Anyway, the battle for the championship is probably going to go down between Astro and Mochi, as things stand for now. As Astro before Mochi joined really had an edge over the rest of the competition, barring Sever, of course, who dominated the first 2 races.
Well, Sukablad has managed to close down the gap. And Mochi has came into the pits.
That's an early stop again from Mochi. That's going to be a long final stint. That's going to be a 10-lap stint if he's going to go. Oh, he missed the pit lane. I think he had to reverse. That's going to cost him another 2 seconds. Yeah,
Jordan goes into the pits as well.
Yeah, Jordan also going for an early pit stop, looking to secure 5th place. For 4th place.
Cold Bacon dives into the pits as well. Remkanava continues.
So I think it's a little bit too early to pit right now because you're going to have to do 10 laps in your final stint, which is going to be quite a long task.
Remkanava has corner the second turn again.
Yeah, mistake from Remkanava. Cold Bacons took quite a while on that pit right there, must say. So a few people screwing up in the pit lane, it seems, either by braking too late or I'm not sure why some pit stops are taking so long. Probably missing the pit box ever so slightly. Let's keep an eye on Mochi, who is of course going for a very early undercut. That's another mistake.
Yep. It's gonna
making way too many mistakes right now.
I reckon Astro is gonna pit maybe after this lap, after the next lap. Sorry.
Who was last to pit after the first stint? There were quite a few guys who pitted after 9 laps.
And Astro actually goes into the pits right now.
Astro's coming in, responding to Mochi's undercut attempt. He is also going to go for a pretty long final stint.
Sukablad goes into the pits as well, and I think the last
Astro had to reverse as well, missed the pit box a little bit. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Where is Mochi in this? I think Mochi is going to get past at this rate. It's going to be very close between the 2 cars. It's Mochi who just about comes ahead of Astro on track. Well, it's certainly far from over because we have seen Astro being the more consistent of the 2, and he is on 1 lap fresher tyres now, so it's far from over, definitely. But it's Mochi right now in the lead with ROBLOX Gaming just behind in 2nd place, just about couldn't hang on to 1st place, and I think that is due to that little mistake he made in the pit box, unfortunately. And then behind you've got Jabil, who is yet to make his 2nd pit stop.
Remkanava now has gone into the pits after a long stint, I'd say. As his first stint was pretty short.
Yes, I think who is yet to pit? His only other rival is...
Sear is yet to pit, I think. And,
yeah, Wolf is yet to pit.
And Jabil is yet to pit as well, but Jabil's pretty far from Remkanava.
Yeah. Jabil's now slipstreaming Astro, who just made a mistake because he's now 2.5 seconds back. So definitely a mistake from Astro right there, which has allowed Mochi to get a little bit of breathing room.
Antonak and Wolfseer are yet to pit. Antonak was actually in a previous fight with Jabil and Jordan for P4, but has fallen down some positions.
Anyway, asking in the chat again, any other questions, Dan, about which driver is ... or what drivers are ... Because I think from a from a league owner perspective, I don't think I should be saying too much about how what I think every driver is going to do. That's up to the drivers themselves, of course, if they decide to train harder or really find some pace. What the F has happened to Khalil? Not sure. He disconnected after, or he left. I should say. Not sure if it's a disconnection or that he manually left, but he left after just 2 laps. He got a glitch for the first race, or for the first start. Wasn't able to get on the grid in time, so we had to restart for him. But after that, it only took 2 laps. He was ready towards the back. He was in the mix though, so he was definitely fighting for positions, but unfortunately he left after just 2 laps. Not sure if it's a disconnect or a rage quit of some sorts. Let me check out the Discord quickly. Maybe Khalil has said something about what happened to him.
Does seem like he has.
I am checking right now. I don't see anything.
And Wolf just dives into the pits, Antonak as well, and those are the last people that were yet to pit, so everybody has managed to complete their pit stops. And Wolf and Antonak may be under pressure from Cold Bacons, who has done some pretty good stints, not gonna lie.
Oh, Kobegas is back in the mix for 7th place, but Wolf is going to be on much fresher tyres now, so it's going to be a big challenge for him if he wants to take over that 7th place. What happened to Remo Canava early on? I believe Andy is a bit loud. I turned his volume up in Discord because I thought it was a bit quiet. Turn the volume down a little bit. Maybe that will be better for the stream quality. I don't know how the stream exactly sounds, if I sound quiet or if Andy sounds loud. I adjusted it now so Andy doesn't sound as loud.
No, it's just me. It's my microphone that was down for a moment.
Okay. I'll turn it down a little bit in general. So it should be better now. Anyway, do we have got any battles on track? It looks like we've got Jabil, who is still trying to chase down Jordan for the win. Meanwhile, looking towards the front, it's 5 laps to go, and Astro is 3.2 seconds behind. It looks like Mochi has got this, but we've got to remember he has been a little bit prone to make some mistakes early in this race, but 3.6 seconds is quite a healthy margin, I would say. Astro is on 1 lap pressure tires, so never say never, but it's looking good from Mochi to take his 2nd consecutive win today.
Looks like the only fight that's going to be left on the last lap is the fight for P4, as Jabil is catching up to Jordan. Jabil with pressure tires, of course, as his 2nd stint was much longer.
So do I have to, by the way, I'm going to check again. Am I going to have to warn everyone? Was anyone naughty by not turning up without reasoning? Well, Jerpy found the reserve, so he's clear, he can race. Got the reserve to drive. Not sure what happened to Kappa AG. I'm going to check right now if he indeed said that he couldn't come. My Discord is a bit on crack right now. I can't search anyone's history. Going to check the reasons for no show channel. Skyrings wasn't able to race. Something came up for him. I think AG just didn't show up, so that's going to be at least 1 penalty point for him for not turning up without his laptop died. Okay. I'm going to have to check after. Ah, yes, I found the message. Okay, never mind. So, no penalty points this round. That means I don't have to give everyone penalty points for not turning up, because in this league, that's how we deal with inactive drivers or potential inactive drivers. Is if you don't turn up, that's okay, but if you didn't announce it, that's going to be at least one penalty point you'll get. If you maybe overslept, or if you forgot the race as well, you have 24 hours after I pinged you about where you were during the race. If you don't respond within 24 hours after I ask you that question, then you get 2 penalty points and you'll be assumed inactive. And if someone reaches 4 penalty points over the course of this season, that person is going to be kicked from his seat due to inactivity. So very important for any driver to notify us if they can't make a race for whatever reason. Of course, it can happen. This isn't an elite league, whatever, compared to actual sim racing, of course. Where I can tell you people are generally way more disciplined and such, and way more committed. Like if they turn up, they actually race, or they try harder to make it for the race. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it does happen that people don't turn up. They can't. They have to go somewhere all of a sudden. There are a lot of reasons why people may not be able to turn up every race. But back to the race, we've got a battle going on for P4 between Jordan and Jabil. Jabil has really closed the gap to Jordan over the last couple of laps and is now surging ahead of Jordan. And not anymore, they're pretty much inseparable at this point, as Jabil gets a better run out of turn 3 and is now surging after Jordan, who is now going to get some dirty air from Jabil. And that's Jabil up into 4th place in this race. Ooh, Astro has closed the gap to Mochi, so it may not be over for the lead. The gap has gone down to just 1.3 seconds. That is a range where you can restart, where you're going to feel the pressure if you are the car in front. If the car behind is just under 1.5 seconds, for sure you're going to start to feel it, because the car behind will get a little bit of slipstream. He is also going to get some dirty air, but he's also going to get slipstream, so it could get pretty interesting towards the end of the race. And I hope for Mochi he'll be able to cope with the pressure. As I said, he has made a few mistakes early on this race. He has shown really good pace, especially during qualifying. But can he go all the way and take his second win? That is the question, as he is still under pressure from Astro, who has been really consistent and has closed the gap. Not sure if that's due to a few mistakes from Mochi or due to some great driving from Astro. Perhaps both. Anyway, the gap is now 1 second just about, so it's really going to come down to the wire in this last couple of laps. We've got to remember as well, Astro is on 1 lap pressure tyres, which is going to matter even more as the race progresses, as the tyres wear exponentially. So at first they don't wear that much in the first few laps, but then they start really, the wear really starts to skyrocket as the laps count down. Yes, Mochi indeed complaining about oversteer, clearly showing that he is starting to struggle on his old tyres.
Jabil has managed to clear the gap to Jordan now, so he's looking pretty comfortable to take P4 in his first ever race in Division 2.
Yes, good job by Jabil to pull away. Maybe he had shown better pace over Jordan in this final stint. I'm not sure how they are both doing tyre wear wise, who pitted when. Not entirely sure, but now Astro is within a second of Mochi. And this is going to come down to the wire as they are on the penultimate lap of this race. Just 2 laps to go. And let's see, Mochi hitting the wall, and Astro maybe also hitting the wall coming out of turn 5. So of course has to deal with it with dirty air, but the fact that he is on fresh tyres is going to compensate for that a little bit. Let's keep an eye on that gap between the two. We're going to focus on the battle for the lead. 1.5 laps to go. Mochi still hanging on. All he has to do is not make any mistakes because he has the pace, just has to keep it on track, and he should be good to go for the win, as I'm pretty sure Astro is maybe going to take more risks if he wants to win. Misses the apex though a little bit, a small mistake from Astro, which allows Mochi to get away. The gap is now 1.5 seconds, but the tyre hairpin is going to be pretty bad for Mochi with his understeer. As you can see, Astro has closed down the gap a little bit, and now it's going up again as Mochi got the better exit of the two.
Now we enter the final lap of this Grand Prix. There's pretty much no fights in track, except Cold Bacon is probably closing down to Wolves here, but...
That could also maybe become a battle, but it's going to take a lot. Meanwhile, let's stick a ball with Astro, who is still chasing Mochi. Mochi is not making any mistakes, so it's going to be really hard for Astro to do anything about that. He gets very close to the ball on the exit of turn 5 once again. Jordan has given up on the battle for P4 as Jabil is well ahead of him at this point. Astro running a bit wide, he is taking a bit of more risk, trying to carry a little bit more speed, extracting that little extra out of his car in order to challenge Mochi for the win, trying to apply a bit of pressure. Mochi has to keep it clean in this final couple of corners. They're now entering sector 3, 1 sector to go. Looks like Mochi has got this win in the pocket as he runs a little bit wide, loses a bit of time, which allows Astro to close in a little bit, so it's not over quite yet. Mochi keeps it on the track. Astro runs a bit wide, which is going to cost him a little bit of time. Mochi still complaining about the understeer, which I'm pretty sure he's on time lap all tyres at this point, so he is on very worn tyres indeed. But he is crucially hanging on as Astro is running wide here, and they're trying to get everything out of that car, what's left in it. But it looks like Mochi, as he comes around the final corner where you have to brake for, he keeps it on the track. He has a healthy lead, and he is going to go through the final chicane. Don't corner cut it. No, he doesn't. And it's Mochi who takes the win in this Division 2 race. And ROBLOX well fought for first place, but it was all that the Mochi with the superior pace who hangs on to third place. Meanwhile, we've got Sukablet
get P3,
who makes it a double podium for the Hardened Court team. Then Jabil is going to finish in a comfortable 4th place. Very good job by him. Very consistent. And it's Jordan who is going to take a respectable P5 for him. Good job by Jordan as well. Do we have any battle going on? And Snack is going to come home safely in 6th place. Also going to score a couple of points for his team. Of course, they are fighting for... They are fighting with Hardman for the lead of the championship, but with Hardman getting a 1-3, that's going to be quite difficult. And it's good. Yeah, Wolf hangs on to 7th place in this race, and it's Goat Bacons who scores a 1 point, getting the final points paying position, and Remkanava, who comes across the line to claim P9, just outside the points, unfortunately. Well, that's it. Mochi extends his championship lead over, virtual championship lead over ROBLOX. I think he may be taking over first place after this race. Let me check now. Yeah, he's overtaking 7 now, so he is now going to be in the lead of this. No, I'm looking at Astro, I'm wrong. He's going to be on level with 7 right now, in fact, for the lead of the championship. While Astro is actually going to be in the lead of the championship after this. Then Sukablet, pretty much a no man's land, gets his first podium in Division 2. He hasn't scored a podium yet, so good job by Suka, making it a really strong result for the current team championship leaders, Hartman Colt Racing. And they've got Jabil on his debut, a solid 4th place, which is going to be good points for the Cross. The RX Racing team, who are 4 teams in this fourth place in the standings. There goes the result screen, but I made a screenshot this time, so we should be good on that.
I already posted it.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks. It's Jordan got 5th place, scoring solid points for his team as well. Antonak scores 6 points, which is going to be good points for the Red Wings team as well, who are surely going to take over 2nd place in the team's championship right now. Iswolf is going to bring home a couple of points for Joestar Racing, who are going to stay in 6th place in the standings, with Itzkert Bacons in 8th place, scoring 1 point for Bottom Text Racing. Actually, their first point in this division, so good job by the reserve driver scoring the first points for the team. Anyway, that's it for the stream for today. It was a fun race. A lot of interesting battles on track again. Really, the battle for the lead really proved that pace isn't everything, and that you also need a consistency. As despite the gap difference in qualifying, Astra really was able to put a lot of pressure on All-That the Mochi for the win. So yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow for Division 1. Should be able to stream that. Not sure about later today, about the American Cup, which is going to be tonight for Division 3. We'll see about that, if that's going to be covered. I would say it's a 40% chance, but we'll see about that. Thank you everyone for watching today's stream. Have a nice morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay tuned, and goodbye.
Goodbye.